Hi, everyone, and welcome into our very first weekly Coaches Report here with head men's basketball coach Shanan Rosenberg. Joe Stewart here with you on the Linfield Sports Network. Coach, thanks for taking the time today.
Yeah, you bet. Good to be here.
Well, let's take a look back at last year real quick. A terrific season. You guys had the best record that you've had in your tenure here at Linfield and made the playoffs for the third time in the row now. And it's really a time, we've talked a lot about over the last couple of years about knocking on the door of a conference championship. Where do you feel the expectations are for you that you have for this team and for the team that the team has for itself here going into your now 7th year leading the team?
Yeah, we'll be competing, I think, for a championship again. Whether we do that or not will be dependent on a number of things, but I think we've got the people to do that and certainly the experience in being in that arena and understand what it takes. So I see us in that arena again at the end of the year.
Well, last year you lost 7 seniors to graduation. It was a terrific class with a lot of great leaders in it. You've got 4 great seniors this season. How do you see them filling that void that was left by last year's group?
Well, you want a legacy of sorts. I mean, you want every class to have a sense that they need to pay forward what they've inherited and what they've kind of adopted and adapted to through their years here. And so, we want to make things better. Every class, constant improvement. We want them to add to what we've built. And so I'm excited for them. And we've got a great seniors there. And certainly they step, whether they like it or not, into a leadership role. And, need to show everyone how it's done.
Last year, we really saw a pretty incredible offensive explosion throughout the Northwest Conference last year. Every team saw significant increases in points per game, and of course Linfield right at the forefront of that, a 14-point per game increase from 2018 to 2019-20, or other way around there. But how do you expect that trend to continue this year, or if it will at all?
Well, I just think with different personnel, we changed our offense last year. And our whole kind of tactical approach, because our personnel had a real significant change in terms of us becoming more guard oriented, and so that lends itself naturally on any team to more offense. And so I think that was what tipped that trend, so to speak. In the conference, we have so many teams that play, press the whole game and force tempo, that anybody that forces tempo, you either have to fight it or play in it, and either way, if you're going to play in it, your scoring is going to go way up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, one player that really thrived in that, though, was Dempsey Rogenbuck. In his second year for you now, led the team in scoring with 18.1 points a game. He was named second-team All-Conference after being Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. Where do you see his development continuing into his junior season?
Well, he should have been first-team All-Conference.
I think a lot of us agree on that one.
I wasn't a big fan, but I don't have any control over that. No, Dempsey's doing great. He's more complete than I've ever seen him. He's impacting the game in different ways, defense and rebounding. I think his kind of personality and his comfort with his relationships and trust on the team have opened him up to the guys a little more now, and including our new players.
Sure.
So he's been terrific, and I expect him. To do very well this year.
Definitely. So going back to the team as a whole, though, I mean, one of the hallmarks of your teams the last few years has been the terrific defense, league-leading defense in each of the last 3 years, and even last year with the increased offense, still allowed the least amount of points per game. But taking a look now at what happened last weekend in your first 2 games, a 103-98 to Whittier, and then a 94-69 loss to Redlands. Specifically thinking about the defense here, are you all at all concerned about where that lies as a priority now going this season compared to the last couple of years?
I'm not concerned. I can acknowledge that we're not very good defensively right now, and I can acknowledge that we have a long ways to go defensively. We're not as gritty and aggressive and tough and willful and tenacious and all the things you want your defense to be, but it's tough teaching guys to be junkyard dogs that don't know what it's like to be a junkyard dog. So we're working on that, and I think we have been fantastic, and I'm confident that this group will kind of fall in their own way. But our poor defense is as much my responsibility as anybody's, but I think together we'll figure it out.
Well, what were some of the positive takeaways, though, from the Redlands Tip-Off Classic?
I mean, I think that at times, we demonstrated, that we could score. To be honest with you, the positive thing for me is the realization of how much harder we have to play and how much more we need to take care of the ball. I mean, I think there's a great learning trip for us as much as anything in terms of any, kind of revelations about our team, other than we're very mediocre defensively and have high potential on offense. I mean, we got a great group of guys.
Sure.
But I think there was no grand revelations through this last weekend. Just, I think, a wake-up call.
Definitely. And then we've got the home opener this Sunday against Northwest University. This is a team that went 15-17 last year, but is off to a really nice 4-0 start. What's the focus going up against the Eagles this weekend?
Well, they've got some big guys that I think are really good. They're an athletic team. They've got 5 or 6 games under their belt. I think they play an exhibition tonight with Hawaii Pacific. We're glad to be home, obviously, but the biggest thing is we'll prepare for them accordingly. But I think the big thing for us is just we need to get better before we get to Sunday. It's as simple as that. I mean, nobody felt good after Saturday, and nor should we. And so I think there's a hunger and we acknowledge that we need to get better this week. So that's what we're trying to do.
Definitely. Well, again, the Wildcats opening the home scheduled this Sunday at 3:30 against Northwest University. If you can't make it down, we'll, of course, have live coverage on the Linfield Sports Network, as we will for all home games and all conference games this season. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time.
Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Beating Whittier 103-98.